In 1660, Charles II returned from exile to England, restoring the monarchy. After a decade of repressive, grey, Puritan rule, the floodgates of fashion were thrown open once more. Men could again wear frills, ribbons, and silks, and the Stuart court burst back into colour. Here at Hampton Court Palace, we're going to show you, step by step, how a Stuart courtier would dress for Charles II. So, you're just in your underclothes.
Yes, I am. This is essentially my underwear, though much of it will still be on display. The shirt I'm wearing now is extremely frilly, with enormous cuffs. They're not very practical, but they're perfect for embellishment and for showing just how clean and well laundered the wearer is.
You'll be showing quite a lot of it, won't you?
Exactly. The doublet only comes to the upper arm, so the shirt really becomes a statement piece in its own right. Next, I've got my understockings on. Much like modern stockings, I wear overstockings on top of these. They help conceal leg hair and also make the color of the outer stocking appear more vibrant. So all of this is still underwear. These are the knitted stockings. They're very colorful, and because they're knitted, they fit the leg extremely well.
There goes one. They're very soft, aren't they?
They are. Though in truth, I don't feel much of it because the understockings are doing most of the work. They also help keep everything in place.
And there we are, stockings on. A bit more dignity.
Next are the petticoat breeches.
They're enormous, almost like a skirt.
Yes, very much so. They're essentially shorts, but they could be absolutely huge. Samuel Pepys even tells a story about a man who spent an entire day with both legs in one side without realizing it. So I'll step into them now. You can see the abundance of frills and ribbons. Are these meant to tie into the doublet like in Tudor fashion? They reference that idea. Originally, points tied the doublet to the hose, and these ribbons echo that tradition. By the Stuart period, however, they no longer serve a practical purpose. They're purely decorative, designed to look like points.
So they're completely redundant.
Entirely, just for show.
The fabric itself is beautiful, all silk.
And as you can see, it's an extraordinary amount of material, a huge expense, and a very bold fashion choice. This style was brought over by Charles II from the continent, as many fashions were, and quickly spread through the court.
Compared to the breeches, the doublet looks surprisingly small.
That's right. Most of the fabric has already gone into the lower half. It's a short doublet which allows more freedom of movement and shows off the shirt sleeves beautifully.
And now you can really see how much of the shirt is meant to be displayed.
Yes, in fact, you're supposed to pull it out slightly so it balloons. It's an odd style but very fashionable. Next comes the falling band collar, again to show off fine lace. This lace was extremely popular at the time, and the bands tie it neatly into place. The doublet itself fastens with buttons and a hook and eye, a relatively new innovation in the 17th century.
Would you mind helping me fasten the collar?
Of course, though not too tightly. We want that shirt on display.
Now that is a shoe.
Isn't it just? They've developed enormously since the Tudor period. They now have a proper heel, whereas earlier shoes were much flatter. The tongue is deliberately exposed to show off the red leather beneath, and instead of ribbons, we now have buckles. The red heel in particular comes from France under Louis XIV. Wearing them signified royal favor.
When did men start wearing heels?
Interestingly, men wore heels before women. The fashion came from the Ottoman Empire and Persian warriors, whose heeled shoes helped them stand in stirrups while shooting from horseback. These warriors became fashionable, men adopted the heels, and the strong calves they created were much admired. Women later copied the look.
So are you fully dressed now?
Not quite. Even indoors, I'd still be wearing a cloak. This one is rather fabulous, with a beautiful lining to match the ensemble. Long cloaks can be worn over one shoulder, but they tend to slip, so wearing it over both shoulders is more practical. Careful with the collar, we don't want to ruin the lace. There we are. This feels very odd.
Like a pantomime cow.
I'm glad I'm the front end. An honor to be at the back. Now, of course, a servant would arrange the collar and falling band properly, and no Restoration gentleman would be complete without a periwig.
It's made of real human hair, for the elite at least.
Some used their own hair, though most purchased additional hair. Later on, horsehair became common because it held its shape better. You'd likely own more than one wig, as they required constant redressing. I won't be cutting my hair today. I'll just tie it back and tuck it underneath. There we are.
It's completely transformed you.
Of course it has. I look better.
You look like a proper gentleman. How does it feel?
Quite strange, and quite warm. You can already feel the heat, and they're perfumed as well.
Now all that remains are the accessories. A hat, garters, a cane, perhaps some jewellery. Charles II truly restored opulence to the English court. Though, interestingly, this fashion wouldn't last long. He would soon pioneer the three-piece suit, from doublet and hose to vest, jacket and breeches, all thanks to Charles II. You're quite the peacock. How does it feel as a modern man? Surprisingly comfortable. Unlike earlier periods, it's not restrictive. You feel free, though the posture still demands confidence. Even the heels are comfortable. All in all, it's rather wonderful.